Hello everyone and welcome back to Meadows Hill here on Gears Network UK. So I thought today I might show you how to do ballasting. There are many videos up there, but it's always nice to make a video yourself because everyone's got different techniques, and of course I'm just going to show you the way I do it. Might be not the way you want to do it, but it's always nice to see how other people do ballasting. So I've got the stretcher track here, which is going to be the coaling stage for engines coming off shed, out of the sheds actually, and get the nice drink of water, and of course their fresh coal from a soon to be scratch built coaling stage. So what you need is your ballast, and I've got some ballast right here, and I wouldn't say it's up to scale, but then again this is a basic railway and this is what the stuff I bought some time ago, and this is actually reused ballasts from a previous layout. And what I've done is, where some bits are stuck together, I've actually put them into a bit of a, just grinded them up, and then that's made them all back into their original pieces. So the glue is sort of come off them and they've gone back into the original bits. Of course there are a few bits, I can't find any in here, but there are a few big lumps there and then which will need to be broken apart. So the other thing you might need is a spoon, so you can get good spoonfuls, and then you can use your fingers to just brush it into the corners and that, or you can use a paintbrush or a knife just to get those really hard areas, whatever is easiest. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so I've set the camera up on the tripod so it's easier for you to see an overview of the track. So what we'll do is we'll just get a nice spoonful of some loose ballast, even though it's second hand, and all we've got to do then is just put some of it to the side, like so, and then another spoonful to the other side, like that. And then finally one more spoonful, not much, that will just go right down the middle. Could you actually do a bit more? There we are. So then what you want to do, you can try to use a spoon if you want to, but what you really want to do is you want to use a brush or your fingers, and then just simply brush it in or push it in with your fingers to get it just below the sleeper levels, because if you look on the real railway you don't really find ballast above the rails, and definitely not above the sleepers. I said that the wrong way around, but pretty much you want it nowhere above the sleepers. I know on the Heritage Railway I volunteer at, there are a few places where we do have some ballast above the sleepers. In fact we actually have it all like piled along the middle and the forefoot, and it's just there, just it's just leftover ballast, or just bits we just filled in. I'm not really sure because it was there just way before I even actually joined. So that's almost there now, so we're just going to tap it and vibrate the ballast to try and encourage it into those areas, and then we're just going to push the ballast away. We can just see the ends of the sleepers, like that, and any loose bits, you can see what I mean by it being still stuck together, so that would just go into just be grinded up and just made back into what it was originally. So just take time, take your time, yeah, be patient. It's not really a rush game. If you want to, like say you have a big layout, then you can use some other different types of ballasting methods. This is for sort of like good sized layouts, a bit like mine. You have enormous, gigantic ones, like there's one I've seen on YouTube. It's massive, but you basically use like a bit like a foam type stuff, which basically just it's printed out with track pattern, and then you just also put it like to bed in a way. So that's pretty much there, and then of course I'll just keep on brushing, but you get the idea, you get the picture, and you just keep pushing it in, and you can use all kinds of stuff like your brush and all that, even a little bit now, just to really push it in there and just try and keep it below the sleepers, because you've got your trains running on there. And of course I've got a large collection of different types of engines, from some like the old Triang models which have got the large flanges, all the way to the more modern ones which are much better, they're much thinner flanges. Show you an example amongst my collection. Here's a very old Triang model of the Princess Elizabeth. This dates to about 1950s, 60s. You see the massive flanges on that one, and then compare it to a more modern style like this one here, which is a Smoky Joe. The flanges are a little bit more thinner, as you can see. So there's pretty much a lot. There's something I like to do just to make sure that the ballast is fully put in there, is put on a carriages of another Triang model of a Mark 1 coach in blood and custard, and I'll just put that on the tracks and just simply run it up and down, and what that does actually forces any of the ballast that might be above or near the actual flanges to be pressed down on that, so you can run that along and they'll move that out of the way, and you've got a nice smooth run then. That's pretty much it then. And of course you can actually tie it up, so if you get yourself like a ruler, I've got one over here, it's a simple ruler I use for drawing, and then just push and make it look neat and presentable, just like they do on the real prototype, like that. Same on the other side, just all nice and presentable. Of course I'm not going to fix this down yet because I need to build up my custom building, put that in there in line, but once you're done, then you need to secure it, and you could use all kinds of products out there, which like Woodland Scenic Cement or any of those types of them, but I just pretty much just use a standard, it was originally a PVA glue bottle, childish, and in there you had a 50-50 mix of PVA, white glue and water, and a few drops of washing up liquid. You mix it all together, and then the best thing about this is then you take it up. I'm not going to do it actually, but you then pour it along, just drop it all over like so, and then it will just gradually build in there and then lock it up and make it all nice and solid. You can, if you want to do, make it even flow better, especially when you have large amounts of ballast over large areas, spray it with water. I know there's one model that I've actually seen who actually does that, but I'm just doing it in different ways and just trying out what I can. And so you spray it with water, so with an ordinary house spray, like from a detergent or something like that, and then spray it with water, plenty, and then just pop over there, and the water kind of breaks the surface, and then it allows the mixture to go. Once that's done, leave it for 24 hours to dry hard, and then it should be alright. But yeah, that's how to ballast your track. Of course there are other methods, but this is the method I'm going to use for my layout, and I hope you enjoy. That's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you want to support the channel and help this model railway grow. I like supporting modelers themselves by subscribing to their channels. And also don't forget to stay up to date with videos by hitting that bell. And that's all to it. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.